Yeah.
Yo.
Late night crew back.
Yo, we're
Episode
here.
6 of Heels, Starz. Bird, what it do, son?
What's up, dude? I was excited to watch this week's episode, and I'm super happy with what we got out of it this week.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
You know?
we've been saying it every week, but the show just keeps elevating, right? Like
Yeah.
every episode, the storyline gets better. I mean, they kind of did. Anyways, let's just say what's up. How's
Yeah,
everybody
I was gonna
doing?
say before we get into all this,
Mm.
shout out to all the supporters,
Yeah, man.
everybody who's been watching, helping the heel series grow.
Yeah. She's been
You
going
know?
crazy, man. I mean, last 3 Heels videos we posted, 100 views.
Yep.
So,
One almost hit 2.
yeah, close.
One's at like 180. Yeah.
Yeah, which I mean, it's super exciting because again, I said I've been saying it every week, but I should talk the actual fan base early on. But
Yeah.
clearly, people want to watch it, and so we thank everybody who comes back every week and hears our opinion about heels. But man, let's just get right into it though. Look, yo, I enjoyed the fact that because we talked about the first episode. Remember,
Hmm.
it was a lot about the past and what the DWL was before with the father and like a younger version of Wild Bill, what it was like.
Yeah.
And we were kind of like, all right, it was cool, but like, don't let the whole season be like that.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think what they did with this episode, it was kind of one of those episodes again where they went back to the past and they kind of did the parallels this time of like what's going on with the streaming company trying to buy the DWL present time, what the
Hmm.
crew's going with. But I like how this episode was kind of centered around Bonnie and Wild Bill's experience with the father and what he
Yeah.
was going through with CNN and how it kind of correlates with what they're going through right now. And you can see it in Bonnie. Like, I mean, even Bill, to me, Bill, man, Wild Bill, I mean, he was great the first season. He was hilarious the first season.
Yeah.
He's really the comedic relief. But I feel like this season they really have written him a really good character, man. He's like
Yeah.
really nuanced. They're giving him like different sides. But your initial thoughts on the episode?
Oh, yeah, I thought the episode was great. Yeah, it sheds light on Bill not being just an asshole. He's not
Yeah.
just a huge asshat. You know what I'm saying? Like he did what he could to help the dad. And he doesn't even text him for how are you doing? It's oh my God, my friend Bill, let me borrow money.
Yeah.
And
Especially how they portray what happened. And it kind of shows why Wild Bill became what he was. Because what I thought was interesting early on, especially when they showed the first flashback,
yeah,
Wild Bill didn't seem like how he acts. You know what I mean? He was
no,
like very contained. He was like very level headed. The way he was
yeah,
speaking to Willie, I mean, I enjoyed their chemistry, like the young versions of them, like they clearly were in love. But the way he was speaking to her, like, yo, we got to be patient on this. You know what I mean? The right moves, the right things will happen to us if we work hard.
yeah,
And he really was like level headed. And I could see why by the end of the episode, why he became what it was. And Willie kind of called him out, like, oh, what that man turned into somebody who pulls his dick out on the plane. It's like, you see why. And I
yeah.
think even while Bill says it when they had the conversation at the bar.
Because
But
Willie and Tom shit on him.
yeah, I mean, yeah.
They shit on him.
And he believed in them. Just like
Yeah,
the same way Willie was saying a couple episodes ago, like, I like the way she was explaining how she's been around the whole time. She believed in their father
yeah,
and like what his vision was. Like again, it shows it in this episode a little bit more. But even just with her saying like, I believed in them once, as you know what I mean, and like now I'm still here. She kind of feels like a little bit stuck in the situation. As for Wild Bill, even though they're both kind of struggling in their own ways in terms of like what happened and
yeah,
the path that
yeah,
led him, he took the fuel and like you said, he's like it energized me. You know what I mean? Like it made me go harder. You showed me that I
all I have
wasn't
is
shit
me.
and I
Yeah,
needed to be on my own. Like you know what I mean? I mean selfish, but
yeah,
the father, I don't know the actor off the top,
yeah.
but bro, he's a dickhead, but he's really good.
He's
He's
good. Yeah,
really
he's good. He loves his kids though. He just doesn't know how to handle his money and didn't know when to give up. He was too deep in it to ever turn
do give
around.
up. Hmm.
Yeah, you know
His pride.
he. Well, not only that, but you have so much money invested. When do you call it quits? When do you lose enough money to be like, all right, well, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
Because he loses his house if he loses the everything else.
DWO, yeah.
Like you said, my personal opinion, the best part of the whole thing is when they like brought in the 90s WWE, WCW, real life rivalry into this show.
Yeah.
Because that was a real big thing in the 90s, early 2000s. The two big wrestling companies going head to head. They had the same time slot every week, and they should like there's a WCW, which is now owned by the WWE. Which obviously they have some sort of approval to use those trademark companies.
Yeah.
Ted Turner, who used to own CNN and TNT and TBS, which is where WCW was played, and like he said, the WWE, we're gonna join them to shut down the WCW.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna see.
Obviously.
I want to know if they're gonna get any in depth with that storyline with like the father, if he ends up or Wild Bill. Who I want to know who signs Wild Bill. Does WWE? Does WCW sign Wild Bill?
Yeah.
Because obviously
that's something we didn't get. But I'm confused. Like, no, I don't want to say I'm confused. But my thing was like, all right, I think it's powerful in terms of like, think about every time they show the dad, they lead him to where he kills himself or takes his life,
every
right?
time I was just
every time. Yeah. But we've gotten, and again, you showed me who the writer was. Let me get the name up real quick.
Michael Wheaton, something like that.
Yeah, but my thing was like the writing is done so well because it's a different perspective of the same moment. So it's not like it's almost like not getting repetitive that they keep like we get it, like he did that, because every time we see a different, like the first episode was how Ace and
Jack
found him, and then this was like, because obviously again towards this part, which is perfect writing because Wild Bill has become more of a staple at DWO, especially now, and doing what his father kind of needed him to do back then, or what he was doing, and then he stopped, right?
Yeah, because he wouldn't have shit on
Michael
Bill.
Waldron.
Yeah, there you go. Shout out that guy.
Shout out.
As everybody tuning in, repeated viewers, this is new setup, new background on the clip.
Let us know how you like it.
Yeah, should we change it? Should we get a screenshot of an episode every week and put that as the background? Comment down below.
I was gonna do that, but we were kind of also sorry for being late. It was my bad this week. I had some shit come up, but next week we will be on time with it. I was kind of sad because I was like, damn, we're getting so much momentum. You know what I mean? I was kind of like, fuck, bro. But anyways, this episode, Wild Bill being more prominent around the DWO, this episode was how he found him. And like, bro, you told me you had 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
Earlier, you were like, yeah, I got 10 minutes left of the episode. I was like, bro, it's the best 10 minutes to me. Like, what happened? The
when
story
she called him in the hotel room,
bro.
And then what she said, you could have done something to help.
And remember, which was like specific, he asked him. So I
would tell
like
my wife.
Yeah, don't tell my wife, don't tell my kids. It's embarrassing. Which was powerful. But then in that moment, that was Wild Bill still holding his friend down. Like I know. And also hurts him because he did help him, but I'm sure he
didn't do anything right with the money.
Yeah. And also that, like, I'm sure he wanted to continue to help him. Like, like even I mean, he did the Wild Bill thing where he like, I'm gonna get a pen, writes it down. 467,000 you took from me. And what a bar, bro. When he said, what a bar when he was like, he's like, oh, that's my account's number. Next time just call him. Like,
off. Oh, when he said 20 years on the road and sitting here eating these chicken wings is my best performance. Kayfabe being your friend.
Yeah.
We're not friends, When he asked him, oh, I must pay well, he was like, man, you can't even build up the balls to ask me this time, right?
Yeah. Now, I didn't, because they never specified like what, and that's, I mean, true to his word now, I don't know how or when they decided to go this route of Wild Bill helping the father, but that wasn't a thing in the first season. He never mentioned it, never.
Well, nobody knows.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like,
nobody knows. That's why they were able to bring it in whenever.
Yeah, I mean,
because nobody knows. Willie doesn't know. The kids don't know. Nobody knows.
It's literally between Wild Bill, and it shows how solid he was towards, what's this guy's name?
Tom.
Is it Tom?
The dad, yeah. Tom. King Spade.
But all right, before we continue that storyline, because I do want to break down a little bit more of like the end of the episode. Let's get through
No
what
wrestling in
happened.
this episode.
No, zero wrestling. I mean,
There's zero
you had the
wrestling.
little practice shit, but no wrestling.
Yeah.
Actually, none. No,
None
actually, no
wrestling.
practice.
He just had a
They just
speech.
talked. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Which was a great speech.
Yeah.
And
great
like it
speech.
felt it. And it was a great speech also for what was going on with Crystal, I think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because
We're
it's
doing
like,
this
all right,
together.
yeah.
This whole episode was about being together. When Jack comes
Yeah.
out the office,
Yep.
you know, and we're gonna do this together.
Again,
you
the
know?
parallels, what
Yep.
Jack's dad, what Tom did wrong
Yeah.
in their
Yeah.
situation.
He's doing
You know
the
what I
complete
mean?
opposite.
He's doing
We're
it like
doing this
literally.
together.
Now, first season Jack might have not done
Yeah.
it this way, right? Like if we're keeping it a buck.
You know what I want to bring up? Actually, they
Yeah.
bring up the fact that Diego has no in-ring presence.
Yep. I was wondering that too. Hey yo, we haven't talked about it, but shout out the actor that plays Diego. Liked our actual post on Twitter. You know, a couple of them like Llama's post. Llama was excited about it as well.
Shout out Llama just for being him.
Just for being Llama. Birdie, I think, is looking it up. No?
I am right now, yeah.
Yeah. But I wonder where that storyline is gonna be. You think he's gonna
Robbie
pull up on-
Ramos. Robbie Ramos,
Ramos.
shout out you, dude.
Shout it out.
Shout out you.
Oh, I thought
I
about
love that you have a podcast within the show.
Yeah.
You know?
I was gonna say we should interview, or I brought it up to you. We should interview him, but we can't because of the strike, the writer strike. They can't do any media, nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
He's not a writer though. He's just an actor.
No, writers, actors. Like if you're in that,
Really?
if you're a part of it, you can't do no media.
Really?
Like Starz is promoting it, but they can't have like the actors go on Breakfast Club. I mean, just an example, but like they can't do nothing like to go promote it outside of it. But and even Stephen Amell was very vocal about, like, which is Jack. He was very vocal about the strike early on when it happened. I think because of this reason. Because again, like when you told me who the writer was and what he's been a part of previously, and again how good the show is, the acting, the writing, how true it is to wrestling itself, the culture of wrestling. Like you would think the show would have, you know, I say it every week, but you would think the show would have more of a bubble, you know, and obviously it's gonna have its loyal fans, I believe, but I don't know with the strike right now how this show can like pop if nobody's really able to speak about it. So we're doing our job. So if you like the Heels content, come back here.
Yeah,
but
this episode was great, bro. I like that little jab in there with the whole Diego thing.
Yeah,
you know.
What do you think? I was gonna ask you. What do you think that's gonna lead to? You think he's gonna defect?
No, I think he might focus on the podcast. That might be his lane. I think Jack is gonna push him to be like, listen, man, like, you know, we really don't have anybody who you can carry a match with. You know what I'm saying? Nobody on the roster fits.
You think that's why? Like, if it was like real, what happens?
There's like he's a 300-pound luchador. You know, nobody else. He does no other luchadors to wrestle. You know what I'm saying? He's not out here doing moon flips and fucking weird shit off the ropes, which is what luchadors do. He's got a good personality. He's a good guy, it seems like. So he can, you know, to me anyway, let him promote the show through the podcast. Let him, you know, promote Duffy, you know, through the podcast.
That's smart because also with
the streaming thing coming on, who knows if he can't be a commentator on that platform.
That's the thing. Like the streaming aspect opens again. We predicted it early on that Duffy was going to continue to grow. But if they get this deal and it does happen, which the show's leaning towards, especially like when Gully called Willie and was trying to poach Crystal and Willie, and he mentioned, you know, this guy is hard on me right now, or sweet on me, and she's like, you think he's the only one that's sweet on you? But like to me, that's like, I think the DWO will get signed now. Have you watched the trailer to the next episode?
No, not yet.
All right, we're gonna do that after. But in that trailer, I watched it already. But in that, the wife was like, "Nobody's gonna buy the DWO with all the debt, especially because remember what Willie said last episode." So I think she's obviously they're like bringing her in a little bit more. I think she's gonna do that side of it. You know, remember how you were like saying
I think there's gonna be a Dystopia Duffy merger. And then the streaming company is going to buy them as a whole. Yep, as a whole.
Because you got two markets, really.
Yep.
And it works well.
Yo, Rooster gives a good
Rooster's promo? Oh, Rooster's promo
gives
was
a
hard.
Yeah,
that shit was hard.
On him.
And I like how he stood up to Gully.
Yeah,
Like, yo, like fuck
he's
that.
like, the people. That's what the people want to hear. I am the
He's like,
people,
I
and I
am
didn't
the
even understand what
people,
you said, and I
and I
wrote
wrote it.
it.
He's like, nah, but no, that promo was in
Yeah.
it. Now I hated the fucking cheap green screen in the background. Looked
Yeah,
like
but
a
that's because it's a a low grade wrestling company. That's what they
yeah.
really look like, bro. If you watch like these like local wrestling companies, this is what it looks like.
There's mad local companies like that, right?
Yeah, there's a lot. But then there's like places like Ring of Honor that at one point in time had a TV deal, but then all their big name wrestlers signed with the big companies,
Oh, so they lost.
and then so now they're on like at 3 a.m. Yeah, on the Spanish channel with
Because
English
technically,
subtitles.
it would be considered like just sports turn like a minor league, right? Like these lower
It's
companies.
independent.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
They call it
Now,
independent.
I just since you said that, and like they really only focus on FWL, DWL,
Hmm.
but or dystopia, but to continue the show and like if we have season 3, season 4,
Hmm.
and like let's say they do merge, there's gonna be other companies that probably pop up, huh?
Maybe. But
Like,
but then wasn't there some sort of leak about a bunch of cameos this season?
yeah, yeah.
There hasn't been any except for CM Punk, but he's a regular.
No, and then
And
AJ
AJ Lee,
Lee.
yeah, but they're married in real life.
I think they count the agent. They also counted him in that.
Who?
Because the guy from the streaming company. Because
Yeah.
he played, but he's not a wrestler, but he like in terms of cameo because he was he played like a villain in Arrow.
Oh,
So
did
people
he?
were like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, so with that, it does open a lot of opportunities for obviously the DWL in terms of like in terms of the show itself and like
Yeah.
obviously bringing production to DWL. But you bring up a great point with like Diego. I mean, last episode as well, like him getting the flowers from Wild Bill, because again, showing Wild
Hmm.
Bill's growth. You know, like he
Yeah.
gave him his flowers. Was like, it's
It's
no
our
longer going to be.
podcast now.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And I think that was a key point. And then you start this episode with him kind of getting shit on by the media, like where's Diego, or like the another
Yeah.
podcast form. So maybe he does also get signed by the streaming company, or
Or does he change his persona? Like does a condemn thing and comes
nah.
back different?
I think they're focusing on the media because he could do more. Like think about it.
Yeah.
One, he's just doing
Yeah.
podcasts, but he can become a full content creator
Hmm.
around the DWL, and he's so knowledgeable about it,
Yeah.
obviously passionate about it. It could be like that lane. I mean, obviously it's it's what we do now,
Yeah.
but it's just a part of the time. Like if you're building a business like that, you need media. You need
And
that
you know
footprint.
what's interesting too now is like the WWE exists in their universe.
Yeah,
Like in the heels world.
it's
That's
good
what
writing though because
but now anything, depending on what the WWE approves, but anything could be done now. They can have any WWE wrestler. John Cena could show up. Not that he would, because we would know that already.
oh yeah,
You wouldn't be able to keep that quiet. But
no,
anybody could show up on this show now.
yeah.
You know?
I mean that again helps it for the future because now if let's say WWE does want to do something with it, the show's really good.
Yeah.
Now I would hope it doesn't get watered down, which I don't think it will, because again, like the feeling of the writing, like they care about the shit. I think the people that are making this show care about the show, and that's
Yeah.
why it's so good, you know. But with the WWE, I almost said DWL, the WWE, like backing it, that can bring
Mhm.
in all the wrestling eyes, obviously.
Yeah. Oh
Literally
yeah.
everybody who needs to see this can blow the
They
show
they
up to
yeah.
a point
They
where
talk
they
about
get
it
these big guys.
live on the WWE shows.
Yeah,
Make sure you tune in Friday night. Heel Stars.
because that would
Yeah. And then
instant, bro.
especially if one of the wrestlers is like featuring in an episode.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
catch
episode's gonna be
Triple
crazy.
H tonight, episode 9, season 3, Heels, Friday night,
Yeah,
Stars.
so I guess that's maybe they didn't get the permission, but that's good writing,
I
right?
mean, they
Like
did
because it
mention the two
opens it up.
companies though.
But I'm
You
saying
know,
like that
yeah,
sets it
it
up so
opens it
like
up,
if
yeah, down the road.
which is fire.
You know, yeah.
Um, do you think we get to see what the streaming platform brings to them going forward?
I think season finale, something big is going to be some big show like a WrestleMania esque show.
Streamed
Yeah, streamed. Yeah,
or
and it's going to be the collab. It's going to be the dystopia,
yep, exactly what I was gonna
the
say.
big card
Yep.
with the two of them, and it's going to be the first streaming, and then they're eventually going to become one company. But maybe on screen, like on their universe, like on screen, they stay rivals. But in real
Yeah,
life, they get bought
they're
out by the
together.
same. Yeah. But on
They
TV,
keep the
kayfabe
kayfabe up.
wise,
Yep,
yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I agree. Maybe like towards the
Does
end of the season.
Crystal and Willie sign with Dystopia?
Nah,
I think Willie does.
you think Willie does? I mean,
No,
it
not
seems.
Crystal. I think
I
she
don't think
signs
Crystal.
without Crystal. I think
Yeah, I
Willie
don't.
signs without Crystal.
Yeah, I
You know,
mean,
like
they're
Willie's gonna
setting
have
something
a.
up,
I need a Willie. Willie needs to think about Willie,
and she's been
and
saying it the whole episode when
yeah,
she was talking to
yeah,
Crystal. Like, I'm not
trying to
telling you what to
convince
do.
her. No, but
Nah,
convincing her.
but kind of, yeah. Like, I'm
Yeah,
not telling you what to do, but I'm telling you, don't
here's the
close your
negatives.
options. Yeah, like don't close it. And I've been you. I was you.
Yep.
And even somebody else mentioned it. Like she was, or Crystal was Willie, or Willie was Crystal back in the day. You
Yeah.
know who
Yep.
was it?
But she didn't
Oh,
give her
Dudley
any
said that. Dudley said
pros.
that.
She didn't give her any pros about staying at Duffy.
Dang.
Only the cons.
Yeah,
You know,
I can see that.
only the oh Jack if Jack can afford to get girls to come on the roster,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean the money thing is obviously. I
A
mean that
big
was
thing too.
the whole center of, and even it gets furthered of how much in debt he is. Really, like when you think about it, because he's in debt with all the
He doesn't
fucking.
even know.
No, but I'm saying like with Wild Bill as well. Like
Yeah.
that's more debt than what
Technically.
was even said. Like you
Yeah.
said, Willie doesn't even know about that.
Nobody does.
So it's like, I
Yeah.
mean, not that Wild Bill's gonna be like, yo, stick him up. You know what I'm saying? Your dad
No, but
owes me.
what if something happens and he like goes to court and makes them give him the $500,000?
Nah, his
Who
arc
knows?
wouldn't hit that. Like the way he's going, like last season, maybe last season probably would have been the season where he would do some shit like that. But the way that they're building his character again, like it's like him and Jack are kind of on equal paths of like bettering themselves a little bit.
You come to find out, like it's like Wild Bill lived in kayfabe, you know, for 20 years, and now he's slowly being Bill.
Yeah,
He's not being Wild Bill. He's being Billy.
yeah.
You know, the Make a
The
Wish.
guy that we seen the
hilarious. The Make a Wish.
I thought about Llama.
Oh,
I thought about Llama because you know how I always be like, he's just a Make-A-Wish kid. But what the dude said, you're a little old to be a Make-A-Wish guy.
I guess everybody can make a wish.
Yeah.
You know.
And then he goes, that was real funny with the Make-A-Wish. He said, oh, I do that for anybody that comes in.
This is me. And then when he leaves, the guy gives him the script that he rewrote. He goes, "I told you I can't sign anything for free out of my contract."
Oh man, he was making bread off that shit. He said, you know, after taxes, after 200,000.
Yeah, only 200,000. Only
200.
He goes, "Yeah, it's a good side gig.
It's good.
It's a good side hustle." Huh?
But that's when it turned, though. That's when the episode, like, because again, the younger version of Wild Bill, the younger version of Wild Bill was kind of like, I don't know, it was like wholesome.
But I think that's who Wild Bill is anyway.
Is as a person.
It's the whole kayfabe thing. He's been living that persona for so long that he was a dick. He blew up, you know what I'm saying? Didn't give back to Duffy, but now that we know he did give back to Duffy, which is part of and he just eats the mean things that Willie says to him.
Yeah.
Instead of like saying, like, listen, bitch, you tell me I didn't do nothing.
Even when the mom called.
Yeah. He just
she hit him with a dagger and he said, you're gonna have to live with that.
Yeah.
And he said, I know, that's fucked, bro. Well, I almost cried, like on some real shit. Like my eyes watered. I was like, fuck, bro, that's some good writing. Especially because the end too, when he reads the script that he wrote. Because I like what he said. Like, obviously he shits on him for not being a good friend. You know, like only calling me when you need me. But when he hits him with you're a genius. Yeah. He's like, you're a fucking genius. But
and I mean that.
Yeah, I mean that. Yeah, he's like, there's no punchline here. Like, you got that. And I don't know. It's just sad because
how when he asks the wife, "How are you?" and she just hangs up.
Yeah.
Have a good life.
And how he broke down, like the way he broke down himself was like, fuck, bro. Like,
because he has that he's like, dude, bitch, I did help. I did everything I could financially. You know,
it wasn't enough.
Wasn't enough.
What I mean? But also, he probably feels bad, right? Like, he was just with them, and he almost said it. He was like, I was just. You know what I mean? But she cuts him off, and the wife doesn't know he's with. You know what I mean? So I think that was also like him stopping it.
Like I said, in present day, he's got to deal with all the mean shit Willie says to him, and all the jabs and all the fucking, you know, because she's mad that he left without her.
which
You know what I mean?
now
But
we
bitch,
see was the other way
but
around.
if no, because if King would have blown up, you would have left Bill right there in Duffy, and the tides would have been turned.
Yeah, but
But
she did. No, but she did leave.
yeah,
Remember?
but
Because
he didn't blow up though. I'm saying like if the King would have blown up, Willie, you're going with him, and you're just gonna leave Wild Bill there.
yeah,
Like if the King would have had the Wild Bill career, Willie would have rode his coattails, and they wouldn't have gave two shits about Wild Bill.
yeah,
You know, so Wild Bill blew up and left them both behind. You know, but
but
still finance your life.
yeah, I think about it. I don't know.
But
I
you know,
see
they
shit like
owe
that.
300,000 to the tax lady.
Yeah,
Wild Bill gave him $500,000,
yeah.
a little more because it was like 464, and
It
he
was like
gave him
40.
50
Yeah,
racks.
and he gave him 50 after.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah, yeah. And then he said,
Crazy man.
"Anytime you need me after that, just call my accountant," which
Call
means
my
that
account.
he's not going to tell him no. You know
Nah,
what I'm saying? But
because I
don't have to
feel
be
like
my
he
big
does kind
friend.
of feel like he owes him a tiny bit. No, like there's like
Um,
some like that's my
like
you're still my
Wild
nigga
Bill
even though you're a
still could have
fuckhead.
back then. He still could have been like, "Listen, I'm not going without." Even though he shit on him, a real friend could have been like, "Nah, but listen, I'm not going with it unless you say he can come too." Even
Yeah.
though he shit on me already, it's like, but now I have the big
Now
picture.
I have the upper hand. Like I can
Yeah.
bring him.
And
Kind
this
of
is like
what.
the big picture. This isn't like, oh, I'm taking your valet and we're gonna stay in Duffy. Like,
Yeah.
no, we have the opportunity to go wrestle at WrestleMania.
Mhm,
Screw all that shit that happened. We'll settle that after this.
yeah.
Let's go do this.
Yeah. And again, I also think just with the call with the wife and like him, like, because
Yeah.
he stopped what he said, but in my interpretation, he was like, damn, I was just with him. You know what I mean? Like, it almost was like, even though he was bitching at Tom for like not being a good friend, it was like in that
Yeah.
moment, he felt like not a good friend because he just walked away when
He
clearly,
also only helped him financially.
yeah,
He
yeah.
wasn't a friend back to him.
Like he
Even though he
wasn't,
was
yeah,
a good friend, you could have been, and you could have changed the whole landscape of the relationship if you would
yeah,
have reached out and been more than an ATM.
yeah. And also, like,
You know?
even
But
if
on
he
the
gave him
flip
the
side,
money,
you're asking me for money. You could be nice to me.
yeah.
Like
Oh,
you
no,
could
100%.
every couple months just be like, "Yo, how you doing, Billy?" You know, and not asking for money.
I mean, another bar, he said, Tom was like, all you do is talk about talk about your dick. He's like, well, you are a
Yeah,
dick
yeah.
all the
He's
time.
like, you just talk about your dick all the time. He goes, well, you are a dick all the time.
No, he had another. Oh man, I wish I remembered.
Yeah.
I wish I remembered because I watched it yesterday. But
But when he said I
there
put
was
my
a
tights
bar.
on and play kayfabe while eating these wings and pretend like I'm your friend, it's the best performance I've ever had.
That's hard.
Yeah.
But he had a funny line where he was like something about eating ass, but I forgot what it was. He was like, "Why don't you munch on my?"
Spread my cheeks and eat my ass.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
some shit like that. I was like,
Yeah,
damn.
exactly what he said. The little dirty guy in the trailer. Then he said, "Please don't keep him out too late. No promises." And he's
Oh no
waving his dick
problem.
in the parking lot. It's just,
Oh man.
Wild Bill, baby. He's
Wild Bill,
definitely like
man.
a Ric Flair-esque character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just like
Ric
persona
Flair.
wise.
Kinda. Not really. Like not really his persona, because I mean, like, see, it's the Nature Boy, and then Wild Bill. You know, but Ric Flair, he dressed in like suits and gator shoes, but he was just like that,
Yeah,
whipping his
he was
dick
more of a
out and
flexer.
straight bitches. Yeah, but a flexer. You know, he
Uh,
flexed with he put his Rolex
Also, Wild Bill's just from fucking Duffy, and he's probably
Duffy.
flexing like a
Yeah,
Duffy,
yeah.
kind of guy. He's flexing.
Ric Flair used to put a Rolex on his dick and then whip it out. And then wave it around.
Wild Bill's slowly becoming. I mean, he's like again. Last season was like the
Yeah,
comedic relief, but this season like becoming my favorite character.
this was
I
like a
also,
side character episode.
yeah. I mean, it was a lot about Willie. A lot of we didn't get into Crystal too much, but she got basically Gully wants to poach her, take her
Also, in
away,
that
make
meeting,
her
they
star.
didn't bring us into that meeting at all.
No, which we, I mean, they kind of gave us like at the end. He's like, it wasn't a yes, but it wasn't a no type of thing.
Yeah, same
Which,
exact thing the dad said.
yeah, but again, it feels more truthful. The dad was just being like prideful. You know what I mean? Now,
Yes, like Ted Turner is probably really busy. Like he's not calling you to the office knowing he's not going to see you.
can see you. Yeah,
Like he's calling you to the office, and then a multi-billion-dollar deal called, And he's like, "Oh, listen, dude, tell this guy we're gonna have to reschedule." And you being too prideful and like Wild Bill said, "Dude, you don't just have your future in your hands; you have ours
Yeah,
too." And
yeah.
you just shit all over Ted Turner, And he's like, "Oh, we got some calls into the WWE." Like that doesn't help anybody. Like you literally had meetings set with Ted Turner, unless Ted Turner was doing it just so he doesn't meet with the WWE. You keep him on because that's how big that was back then. Like that's how dirty that rivalry for those two companies were.
Could be. I mean, obviously we'll probably never know. I don't know what other angle they can bring that day. Like the day he does that to himself. So I don't know what other angle. Maybe Willie's. I mean Willie's.
Yeah.
Because again, she chose to stay with him. So and we haven't seen what Willie's side is. So maybe we have another episode where it's like Willie's last day with him.
And this episode was all one day. Besides the flashback.
Oh yeah.
In present day, it was taking place in one day.
One day. I mean, the flashback was in one day.
Was it?
Because
that was Ted Turner twice.
Oh yeah, you're right. But it
was
like
months later.
Yeah, it was like 2 different times. It was like 2 different days.
Yeah. OJ Simpson, bro. He's like, "Oh, your buddy OJ Simpson got off. He's no buddy of mine, sir." Because she was black. That's fucked up, Starz. Like, "Oh, your buddy OJ got off. Huh? Ain't nobody of mine, sir."
Oh man. What else? Yeah, I mean, this episode. I mean, the season's
Crystal and Homeboy looked happy together.
Bobby.
Yeah, Crystal and Bobby.
Yeah,
Duffy.
Yeah. There was a thing again. We'll watch the trailer after this, but there was a thing where basically they looked like they were at the doctor. So I feel like he's never gonna wrestle again. Type shit. That's right.
Pregnant.
Nah, you can't do that, bro. You can't build her up. And I like how like Gully's like people like got the analytics. Crystal.
Yeah.
Crystal. And then he goes,
yeah.
I can read.
I can read. Yeah, maybe she's pregnant, dude, and maybe that pisses Willie off and she leaves and goes to Dystopia.
Nah.
Like, bitch, you're ruining everything.
Nah.
Or they're happy for her, like, wow, man, good for you getting out of here and not having to do this. Just teach Bobby how to read and he can get a job.
Nah. I think Crystal's gonna leverage. I think what will happen will be like maybe they kind of do like let her go, but like Jack knows about it type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like maybe they do something like that where she can come back to Duffy because there's no secret. Like Rooster became a star when he went over there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he always talks about his bread, but even just his persona, like he's more confident about himself. He got the belt ready to go.
He's the Rooster.
And I like how they put up the belt for that shit. You know what I mean? Like he comes in my ring. Now, obviously, I don't know how if they have Jack write it, like they're gonna need Jack to write the show, right? Like it just has to be. I like also that. I mean, we're going a little long, but I also like that they were like asking them for ideas, like when after Wild Bill had that speech. And they wrote down their ideas and like things because again, you give Jack a good idea, he's gonna write the fuck out of a story. And obviously, same thing with his father. They were talking mad shit about the thing that Wild Bill was on, the movie or whatever.
Yeah,
they were talking about how corny it wasn't, and he took the script and made it something like actually beautiful. So kind of similar. Yeah, but let's end it here because we're at the 33-minute mark. Bird, rate this episode.
8-8.
8-8, yeah, I was going like 8-7, 8-9 maybe. I'll go 8-9 just because it was really good.
Yeah,
really good. 8-9 out of 10. This has been our review of Heels episode 6. Thank you for everybody coming out.
Shout out to everybody,
bro. We appreciate you guys.
Instagrams, the Facebooks, the X or Twitter, whatever
the
they
X, the X Twitter.
There's only X I know. You heard.
But like, subscribe.
Sleep on it.
Comment down below. Yeah, you got to comment down below.
Yeah.
And be on the lookout. And if you haven't seen the preview for episode 7, we're doing a reaction right now. So go check that out. It'll be out with this video at the same time. So sleep on it.